Is that Brandon? Yes, it is. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I need to say to my YouTube video. Welcome back to this video anyway. Okay, so I actually, last year, 2019, yeah, last year, I did a poll on my Instagram and I was just like, well, it wasn't a poll, it was a questions thing. Send me in your pet peeves. So I actually got 15. I'm just gonna begin this video and just say that what, firstly, is a pet peeve. A pet peeve is something that people do that other people don't like. I think for me, if I just go straight in and just say things that I'm not necessarily a fan of people doing, biting their fingernails, people over wearing makeup, wearing too much makeup. Like, there isn't a problem if you bite your fingernails, there isn't a problem if you wear too much makeup, but for me personally, it's something that, it's just distracting. It's just something in life that is just distracting. I think for me, in terms of that, actually, if I just focus on those two to start, people biting their fingernails, it's a sense of, it shows that you're like nervous and it shows you're, I don't know, a lot of people seem to think, like I remember I was speaking to a couple of my mates back at school who I don't talk to anymore, and this is probably why, but they used to think people that used to bite their nails are dirty. I don't know how you can link dirt with biting nails, but apparently it is. And I feel like in terms of the makeup situation, with me personally, the thing that I find about it is if people wear too much makeup, then you don't get excited when they're on a night out. If they're wearing makeup every single day of their life, and then they go out and then they're wearing makeup every single night out as well, it's like, where's the excitement in that? I feel like if people are more natural in their day-to-day lives and they're going to uni, maybe with just a bit of foundation on, or maybe just an eyebrow or whatever, and then when they go out, boom, the makeup's out, boom, the eyelashes are on, boom, the earrings are out, whatever, then it just builds up that excitement for seeing that person out and about. Whereas if someone does it every single day, you just lose that excitement. So for me, it's not really a pet peeve of that I don't like people wearing makeup, it's just that when people overwear it, it just distracts me from actually seeing who they are as a person themselves. And makeup is just like putting a wall up, basically. It's not your real self, it's just your enhanced self. So I think for me, they're just two things that I'm not really a fan of. I think for me, rudeness, any form of rudeness, any form of just doing things just because. If there's a reason behind why you're being rude, then I probably still won't appreciate it, or I probably still won't accept it, because any form of rudeness is rude, obviously. But if there's a reason behind it, or if you've done something because of someone else, that sort of thing, then depending on the person and depending on the thing, I may let you get away with it. But I'm going to start with my Instagram responses from last year. 15 of the ones that I had responded to me. Number 1, using a computer seat in a library to work on your laptop. Now, this is something that I think a lot of students can relate to. If you go to the library, a lot of people don't take their own laptops. A lot of people just go and just use the computers in the library. But there are a few people that will take their own laptops, their own mouse, their own, I don't know, obviously hard drives, USBs, those sorts of things. But the amount of people that I see that sit in the library and there's literally a monitor there for someone to go and sit at and do their work, and they've just put their laptop and started doing work. And the amount of times I've had to go over to those people and just say, excuse me, like, I need to use the computer, can you like move somewhere else? And they look at me as if I've done something wrong. And I'm sitting there like, no, if anyone's in the wrong, you're in the wrong. If you want to use your laptop, fine, but there are so many other places in the library to go. There are so many other places in Nottingham to go. Like, you don't have to just sit. You don't have to just sit where people are going to most likely do work. Okay, so number 2 is bad grammar. I think this is something that I can relate to personally, not in terms of me having bad grammar, because, alright, there are some paragraphs I will write without having any forms of commas and full stops, and I might sometimes write like a 7-paragraph sentence, but that's just an accident. But I think in just grammar-wise, in terms of how they type, how they email, and actually how they communicate in general, because there are some people that obviously speak English, but they don't pronounce their T's, they don't pronounce certain letters, they pronounce things wrong. For me, it's not really a pet peeve, it's just an annoying thing when I'm speaking to somebody and they either won't listen to what I'm saying, or they'll reply back but answer something completely different, or they'll turn the situation to make it about them. So I feel like they all sort of link. It's all just communication. So a person that's bad at communicating, basically, whether that's through verbal, through written, through email, through eye contact, any form of bad communication or grammar. It's not necessarily a pet peeve, but it can annoy me. because I don't really want to be friends with or associate myself with people that aren't literate. I think that's the word, literate? Yeah, literate. Number 3, people who lie. I think this is just a standard one. I think that every single person in their life has lied at least once, no matter how small, no matter how big, no matter how drastic, no matter how non-relevant, someone has lied about something at least once in their life. And I can admit that I've made several mistakes. I've lied about certain things. A lot of things that I did lie about actually put me in a better position than if I was to tell the truth, and people don't know that until you actually complete something and then you realise, oh, I lied, but actually I've got into an even better position that I'm already at. And I think that's in terms of like experience. For example, there was a placement that I applied to. I got the placement, but I had to just sort of lie and fake that I got a little bit more work experience than I did. And actually that's when I got given the opportunity, and although I had no experience, he in the back of his mind still thought I had experience. So that's all that mattered really for that. But I think people that lie to, I don't know, there are some things that you can lie about and some things that you can't lie about. I feel like lying is a bad thing, but if it puts you in a better position, then hashtag fake it till you make it, which is a quote I go by. Sometimes you just have to fake that you're even better than you actually are, just to get yourself to a better position, and then once you've made it, then you don't need to lie anymore. Number 4, disloyal people. I think this is exactly the same. People that you just can't trust. Again, I think this sort of links in terms of like people that lie. If you can't trust someone because they lie, or just because you just can't trust them, then again, obviously that's the sort of person you don't want to associate yourself with. I've been in that situation before where I've sort of opened my heart out to someone, whether that be a friend or a person or whatever, and then they've gone and spread that to someone else, and I'm just sitting here like, well, I thought I could trust you to have this one-on-one conversation, and then they come back to me and go, oh my god, you never guess what Brandon said, you never guess what thing told me about you, Brandon. And I'm like, well, what? And I'm like, oh, well, they've just completely spread what I wanted to keep between me and someone else. People not liking my photos when they're clearly da bomb. I think this is quite a funny one actually, from Serena, one of my modelling friends. I probably will do a video sort of showcasing my model friends, photography friends, media friends, whatever. But I feel like, yeah, that obviously she said that in a quite sarcastic way, but I think that it is still quite an interesting thing though about social media when people don't interact with your posts. I still have that problem now where I don't get anywhere near 100 likes. It's like, there is no problem with it, it's just the fact that there's no point following someone if you're not actually going to engage with any of their content. I get 300-400 people look at my story, 60 or 70 that actually like my posts. What about the other 3,000? There's not really much point in them following me if they're not actually going to do anything. If they're just going to sort of scroll past the feed, you might as well just block me. Messy housemates who leave you to clean up after them. Again, can relate to this. Last year more, and actually first year a lot more than that, because in first year had a couple of messy flatmates, not naming any names. I mean, to be fair, I was one of those as well, where people would sort of leave it for a few days to do their washing, and then everyone would rush to do washing at the same time, and then it would cause an absolute havoc, and then people in the group chats just calling each other out, saying, oh, you haven't done your washing, I've put this in the bin for you, and blah blah blah. So I think just messy people in general, never mind just housemates, just messy people in general. I feel like that actually is a pet peeve. If people are messy, people can't organise themselves, their things, their timings, then for me, that's the sort of person, again, I don't really want to hang around. Loud roommates, again, I think that's pretty much in similar form with the messy housemates. If people are messy, that's not great. If people are loud, that's also not great. But I can admit to being probably, out of the 6 of us currently, probably the loudest, probably because I'm always running to places, or I just talk loudly, or I sing in the corridor. So I feel like people will always know when I'm in the flat. The fact that Neighbours isn't on at the weekend has no relevance on my life. I don't really watch Neighbours, not really a fan of all those soaps anymore. I did used to watch them, but then I sort of just lost a bit of interest. And obviously that's when I sort of was focusing more on secondary school work, and obviously now university work, I don't really have time to sit watching something every single day. So for me, I'm not really bothered about that. The cycles of life, e.g. just washing clothes for them to just get dirty again. But I think that's just life. I think that's one of those things in life that will just be a thing, that you do something and it finishes and you're gonna have to do it again anyway, so what's the point sort of attitude. But I think that's just part of life, and actually, yeah, there'll be times where you don't want to do the washing up because you know you'll wash up all your plates and the plate's gonna get dirty again, or you don't want to wash up your clothes because they're all gonna just go black and stinky again. But sometimes it's just something that we have to do. Long Instagram stories, and I think this girl actually replied to my story and said this because my stories are quite long, or it was just a general thing. But yeah, I think long Instagram stories for me, it depends on what you're promoting. If you're at an event, a live event, and you're just getting videos and pictures and GIFs and whatever of the event, I don't see a problem with that, because you're just sharing where you are, where you're going and what you're doing sort of thing, and actually you can then add it to your moments afterwards anyway. I feel like if it's just you just taking loads of pictures of yourself, or just posting just crap, then yeah, spamming your Instagram or just spamming any form of social media isn't great. I can admit to doing both of those, that I've been at a live event and posted stuff, but I've also just had loads of pictures taken or been doing loads of throwbacks and stuff and have just completely spammed my story to the point where every single little line at the top is so small you can't see it because there's that many posts. People who are not honest, and if someone doesn't like them, to tell them, and that he hated and hates two-faced people. I think again, this is similar to the whole lying situation, that there's no point you acting one way with a certain crowd of people and then acting a certain way with a different crowd of people. You are either just a nice person or you're not a nice person. And you can come across and have this persona as being a nice person, and people behind the scenes will realise that you're not a nice person. But then if you're a bad person, you're trying to act nice, then I don't know, it's just fake. For me, I know I'm a good person, and I've had a lot of people tell me that, hence why I've managed to do so many things during my university life, secondary school life, primary school life, just life in general. But obviously there are some times where I will dip into being nasty or being mean or being rude just because of the way that someone else has acted around me. And I'm not blaming them and saying I'm acting like this because of you. I'm acting like this because of what you've done to make me, or to allow me to act in a certain way that's not my own. So yeah, two-faced people for me, I don't like. But like I said, I know I'm a nice person. I've had everyone say that to me, and it's just a matter of now proving it through actions rather than just telling everyone, which I don't do anyway. Like, people know, people will either say I like you or I don't like you. You don't need to prove to them that you are a good person. When somebody gets over 200 views on their stories and gets absolutely no replies, again, this is just that sort of same situation as before, and the social media engagement and social media likes and just replying to people on social media. Literally, if you like someone's content and you want to share it, just like it, add it to your story, promote it, tag them in a post, whatever. If you ignore it and you don't and you just watch someone's story or look at people's posts but don't actually reply to things or comment on things, you're not really helping them build their brand or their audience. You're just sort of a follower. And actually, yeah, I would just sort of, if you have those sorts of followers, I would take that move and just block them. I've done that, not block, but just I've removed them as a follower. Because there is no point someone following me to just stalk. I'd rather them follow me to actually engage. People being mean for no reason, people who roll their eyes for no reason as well. So people being mean, again, it's absolutely fine for people to have their own opinions. It's absolutely fine for people to say whatever they want to say. But when it comes to being mean for just no reason, like I said, if you have to lie about something, if there's a reason behind it, it's still not okay, but it's a bit more okay than just a lie itself. But if you're just mean for absolutely no reason, then again, that's when I'm gonna distance myself from you. And when people eye roll, I can't eye roll to save my life, and I feel like it's one of those things that is way too obvious to try and hide. If you're in a situation with someone where someone's arguing with you and someone's saying, if you just sit there and eye roll, for example, they're gonna know you're not listening anyway, and they're gonna know that there's something wrong with you or that you're being rude. And actually, it's better to just go, yeah, I accept what you said, and then go away and maybe eye roll when they're not looking straight at your face. But people who eye roll for no reason at all, again, it's a low thing to do, especially if you're like face to face with someone. But away from them, you can say and do whatever you want as long as it's nothing bad, I guess. People leaving the bus and immediately stopping, not allowing people to leave the bus. So I feel like that's when going to campus and actually coming back home. If people are on a bus, they've gone for a travel, whatever, people sometimes have headphones in, they got off the bus, and instead of them just carrying on their journey, they just stand outside the bus, either waiting for their friends or wanting to have a chat or fixing something. But literally, you could move about 5 steps forward away from the bus and actually allow people to walk off than just stand there as a brick. And then slow walkers, slow people, it just annoys me. Again, I can relate to this. Coming from London, there's a lot of people who just will walk so slow, and no matter how you try and like swerve or slalom around them, you just cannot physically get past them. So for me, yeah, slow walkers are one of those interesting yeah, I'll say interesting types of people. Okay, so they are all the responses from the Instagram story. Like I said, there was about 15. I'm gonna obviously you would have seen me insert the messages as I was speaking about each of those, but they are 15 pet peeves from 15 of my followers. Some of them were by the same person, but it doesn't matter who wrote them. There's just 15 there that it's real life things. It's things that people have sent me in thinking this is something that annoys me, this is something that I don't like. And they're all a complete mix of things. You've got things such as slow walkers, things such as people that don't get on the bus, people that don't like pictures, people that don't engage on social media, loud people, messy people. So there is quite a mix there, and if you can relate to any of those 15, let me know, and I may even do more parts like this, or even just more similar videos like this where I just sort of ask for opinions on XYZ and facts and statements on XYZ. But the next time you see me, unfortunately these nails will be off, as I'm unfortunately going to be doing a lot of university work over the next couple of months, and I think I'd rather have ability to type and ability to do stuff, because it's so difficult to do stuff in these. I will probably do a video talking about my acrylic nails, but for now, this is the last time you're going to see them for a while. I'm probably going to have a couple of photo shoots just to sort of get them. Then I will be nail free for a couple of months, and then obviously get them back on once I've finished, hopefully once I've got a job. But I'm going to go. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll be back with you very, very soon with another video on I don't really know what. But also just a quickie, I have actually stopped my podcast for now. It's not really going to be starting up anytime soon, but I will probably be doing my podcasty format as YouTube videos, so just stay tuned to my YouTube channel, because that's the one thing I'm going to focus on. So yeah, that's my little update, little teaser update, but I will be back and I'll explain it in a proper video at some point. But if you did enjoy this one, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Let me know if any of those 15 can relate to you, and until next time, goodbye.